Oregon. The chat box is going crazy right now. I can't even read where you all guys are from, but I'm very grateful that you're sharing with me. We will be starting in a couple of moments, but please don't forget to use the Q&A box only for questions. If you have questions for Vishen regarding the session of today, that's what the Q&A box is for, and the chat box for any other things. So meanwhile, welcome everyone to Step Into Your Greatness Challenge. And here we are already on day 2 out of 6. First of all, congratulations to all of you for actually taking this step towards greatness for 2022. And this challenge works like this. Every day is going to be a lesson and we're going to have practical activities. And today is about gratitude. At the end of each session, we're going to have homework and we will be ending up with a beautiful meditation. So stay close to us until the end of the session to get the most out of it. I also have to let you know that you have a community for support and interaction hosted on a Facebook group. So you really have to put in the work and fully commit to make a change. And as a surprise, I have been given some magical powers for the following. At the end of this 6 days, I will be choosing 2 people, 2 winners, which will have to be the most active and engaged people during the sessions in terms of how good the questions asked were and interaction with the tribe. So please stay close to us because the prizes are an Apple iMac and an iPad. So this being said, we're still waiting for our host. I'm still looking in the chat box. There's a lot of variety. Pakistan. So meanwhile, while we're waiting for Vishen to come on, I'd like to read in the chat box, what does gratitude mean for you? And I will just go over your messages. Okay, so here we are. It means love, appreciation, thankful heart. I love what I'm seeing. Blessings, appreciation. Okay. Appreciation for everything and everyone that surrounds me. That's even more beautiful. And here we are. Hello, Vishen. We are live with
hey guys.
Members.
I was about a minute late for this session because I just got off hosting a live class on the Mindvalley platform with Alicia Vitti on a fascinating topic, a woman's hormonal cycles and how it influences everything from productivity to confidence to even when you should be doing strength training versus HIIT workouts. Fascinating stuff. So thank you for being a little bit patient, guys. Maybe some of you were on that live call as Mindvalley members. And we're so excited to be having more content from Alicia. From Alicia, you guys definitely need to check her out. Now, we have 2,500 people live with us on Zoom and probably at least 10,000 more on YouTube and Facebook. So this is going to be another big class. Folks, how was yesterday? Type in the comments your key idea from yesterday. Wherever you're watching, whether it's Zoom or Facebook, share your key comment. And Bianca, are we live streaming okay?
Yes, we are. I already introduced them. They know about the prizes and what will happen during this day.
Amazing. So. Amazing. So let's get started with today's lesson. I'm going to bring up and share my screen so we can begin. So you notice I have a lot of candles in the background, guys. My daughter, who, when she was 7 years old, made a comment to me. She's like, they are cat people and they are dog people. And Daddy, you are a candle people. I've stopped short of giving my candles names, but you know, I live in Northern Europe and it gets really dark during winter. And so we do everything we can to compensate for the lack of sunlight, I guess. But I love candles. They're so spiritual and they put me in a really Zen-like meditative state. So let's get started with today's lesson. So you're now at day 2 of the challenge. I'm going to do a quick recap of what we did yesterday so that you guys can get caught up and you know how we're going to move from yesterday's topic of activating the heart to today's topic of mastering your emotional states. So some logistics, don't forget we have a Facebook group. The Facebook group is called Mindvalley Challenge, Make 2022 the best year of your life. You can access that Facebook group easily. And don't forget that you will be rewarded for engagement. We're giving away an iMac, we're giving away an iPad Air. And so don't forget to be active in the Q&A and the questions. Bianca here, who is my co-host, is going to be choosing the most active participants, the people who are contributing most to the community, so that we can reward you handsomely with these prizes. Now, I also want you to know that we are going to be asking you to do certain meditations on a daily basis, and these meditations are all available on the Mindvalley app. So here's a shortcut that we just set up. Open up the Mindvalley app, download it. The app is free, and go to the meditation tab. Type in this code word, phase, P-H-A-S-E, and you will see all the meditations, phase 1 to phase 6 for this session, okay? So phase 1, you do it on day 1. Phase 2 is what you're going to be doing after this. So if you're meditating before going to sleep tonight, you're going to be listening to the phase 2 meditation. It's going to stack on phase 1, and then on top of that, put phase 2. If you're meditating tomorrow morning, same thing, do phase 2. As soon as you finish day 3, you will go on to phase 3. We will make that available shortly in the app. Bianca, could you make a quick note? Just let our team know to put the phase 3 meditation on the app by tomorrow.
Sure.
Okay. Maybe there's a misspelling in the search engine or something. It's not showing up here, but we'll fix it. Now, when you come to phase 2, the meditation is called phase 2 gratitude. Okay. And you're going to see what this meditation is going to guide you through, but there's a little feature that you're going to love. Do you see this image at the bottom, flow like the river? This allows you to overlay a multitude of different sounds over my voice. You can put a binaural track. You can put the sound of a river. You can put a meditative sound, whatever floats your boat. Now, let's go on to the class. So we were talking about up-leveling yourselves, moving from level 3 to level 4. And the characteristics of a person operating at level 4 are the following. First, a deep sense of connectedness with all life. People operating at level 4 are deeply in touch with their intuition, deeply in touch with all of life. The next thing is this intuition guides you.
Are you moving the slides? Because we can't see on the screen if you're moving the slides.
Okay, what are you seeing on the screen right now, Bianca?
iPad Air and the images with the iPad.
Oh, that's odd. Let me fix this, okay? We'll fix this really, really quickly. There we go. Do you see it now, Bianca?
Perfect. Yes.
Okay, great. So the characteristics of level 4 are as follows. First, deep sense of connectedness with all life. Secondly, this connectedness with life activates your intuition. You're tapped in, you're plugged in, you have impulses guiding you in your actions, guiding you in terms of your mission in life. This intuition leads to what Michael Beckwith calls inspired action. Your goals are not coming from outside you. Your goals are coming from your soul, knowing exactly what you need at whatever point you are in your life. And this inspired action leads to a phenomenon called being a lucky bastard. It means that life just flows easily to you. You are one of those people blessed and touched by luck. If you relate to this, if you've been in these scenarios where this was your reality, share in the comment. Now, all of us have been there at certain points. The trick is being able to be there consistently. And we're going to talk about how to get there. So the protocol over the 6 days is basically to help you level up all of these qualities of high performing human beings. As we go through life, these levels get shaken. Maybe someone says an unkind word. Maybe something doesn't go well with your project or your business, and we go out of whack. What you're learning here is a methodology to constantly keep yourselves at these top levels of human connection. I was teaching a coaching class in Mindvalley just 2 hours ago, and somebody asked me, Vishen, what is enlightenment? And I said, enlightenment is a BS term that people talk about in the personal growth movement as something to aspire to. You do not want to aim to be enlightened. I think there are few spiritual avatars like Jesus, like Padmasambhava, like Paramahansa Yogananda or Buddha, who were truly enlightened beings. But for us, we're not that. What we need to seek is to be truly balanced and operating in a way where we are perfectly in alignment with our soul. As you get these levels up, you start operating from what we call level 4, the level of bending reality, where there's that perfect integration of connectedness, intuition, inspired action, and luck. And that is a really powerful way to live. Now, how do we get there? We need to fulfill the 6 human needs. The 6 human needs correspond to this chart. And these 6 human needs are done through transcendent practices. These are protocols that you run in your head, either at night before going to bed or in the morning when you wake up. Combined, this protocol is called the 6-phase meditation. And what is important here is that this protocol is designed to transform your life in terms of the past and present, but also the future. The great spiritual myth, as I explained, is that it's just about being blissed out. That's not necessarily true. You can get blissed out from smoking a joint, but it doesn't mean you're contributing to the world. It doesn't mean that you're creating change. It doesn't mean that you're growing. So we have to create life as a balance between mastering the present and the past. This is where work such as Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, where Buddhist meditation all sits, but also being able to structure and create a powerful future for ourselves. This is where goals, boldness, inspiration, aspiration, all of these things come together. Now, yesterday, those of you who were here, they asked you to do this exercise to map out your last year. It's very important to do this exercise because this exercise is going to set a framework for what we're about to do next. So as you go through your chart, and your chart's going to be different from my chart, you will notice highs and you will notice lows. Some are valleys, some are peaks. The important thing to understand is that even if you're at a valley, it is not necessarily a bad thing. And to help you understand that, I want to introduce you to a Zen concept. And I'm going to have Mindvalley author Michael Beckwith. Michael's program, Life Visioning, is part of Mindvalley. So I'm going to have Michael explain a really powerful concept that really transformed my life. It's called Kensho versus Satori. Listen to Michael. Bianca, can you see and hear the audio?
No, we can't see anything and not hear.
Bianca, I thought, please let me know. Did you not see can you see this slide?
We only see the slide and that's it.
Okay, but what slide are you seeing right now? So Bianca, it's very important. If you notice something is not coming out, let me know. Speak up. What do you see right now?
The awakening, recoding yourself, becoming extraordinary.
Okay, no. Okay, tell me what's, sorry guys, this may be a Zoom issue. Bianca, tell me what slide are you seeing right now?
The 4 levels, the world around you, the world you choose.
That is very strange. Okay, so the slides have not been progressing the entire time. Okay, so Bianca, I need you to just be super alert. If the slides are not progressing, something is off, and you must let me know, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so let's try this again, guys. Sorry for this issue. It didn't happen yesterday. Bianca, could you tell me what you see now?
The 6 human needs.
Perfect. Okay. So did you see this, Bianca? earlier?
Yes, now we see the, yes, we see another one.
Okay. Do you see
And
my
now
Tibet foot now?
yes.
Perfect. Okay.
When we consider that we're on a
Can you
path
hear?
of unfoldment, growth,
Yes.
development, insight,
Okay.
revelation, awakening, there's two ways to look at your growth pattern. One is Satori. It's a Satori moment. Everyone has had moments of aha, an insight that suddenly takes over their life and they realize everything they believed, they actually are having an encounter with. It's Eureka, Satori. I got it. I know this. And then there is Kensho. It's a Japanese word that really means like a slow burn. It's like you're disciplined, you're doing your spiritual work on a regular basis, and then you look back and realize that you have grown. There was no necessarily Satori moments, didn't seem to come with a big bang, tremendous celebration, but you did change. Kensho appears to be the slow movement of growth, development, and unfoldment. Satori is an instant bang. Everyone grows through Kensho and Satori, combination of both.
Okay, so hopefully you guys got that. What Beckwith is saying is essentially this, that as we go through life, there are Kensho moments and there are Satori moments. Satori moments are growth from insight. So that's when things are going up. Kensho moments are growth from temporary pain. Kensho moments are dips. What Beckwith is saying is that both actually serve a purpose. Kensho simply means that you're going through a temporary suffering, but in almost all Kensho moments, there is an upward spike following that. So let me give you some examples, okay? Studies show that one of the biggest stressors that completely disrupts someone's life is divorce. In corporate America, for example, the number one thing that completely wrecks top performing employees' productivity is when they go through a divorce, because it's such a, and there's so much anguish and pain that happens when such things happen. But statistically, following a divorce after 1 year, people are actually happier. In short, it's a Kensho moment. So a Kensho moment could be you end up in hospital. But when you come out of that painful situation, you understand how to take better care of your health. A Kensho moment could be that you fail at a business, but as a result of that, you learn what to do in your next business endeavor so you're more successful. So Kensho moments are moments of growth. Now, Satori moments are moments of insight. Satori comes from reflection, from journaling, from learning, from being part of platforms like Mindvalley. Satori is a gradual awakening, but most people do not put in place systems to generate Satori. And so the only way for the universe to help them grow is to smack them at the back of their head to break them so they can come back together again. And this is why so many people have constant pain in their lives. But if they pay attention, they find that that pain always leads to an improvement. But ideally, what you want to do is you want to create a systems in your life where you have constant space for Satori. This is why journaling, critical reflection, going into seminars, like even showing up today, are so useful because of the ahas that lead to growth. And these ahas save you from Kensho. So in life, you cannot completely get rid of Kensho, but you can minimize the pain by investing in growth. A classic example, if you're an entrepreneur, you don't have to figure everything out yourself. You can sign up for entrepreneurship programs. You can join entrepreneurship networks. You can learn from other entrepreneurs. I just came back from a conference of entrepreneurs, and the whole topic of the conference was where entrepreneurs spoke about their biggest fuck ups. Why? Because this is a Satori moment for the other entrepreneurs in the audience, so they don't have to go through that fuck up. The key lesson here is that when reflecting on your last year, you will inevitably find that even when things were dips, there was always a lesson in there. Satori versus Kensho. Your homework today is to go back to your lifeline, the one that you created yesterday, and to ask yourself, what did I learn from the dips? This practice of asking yourself what you learned from the dip is super, super, super important, because it's going to help you rise up and improve yourself. Okay, now, how do you accelerate growth to stage 3 and stage 4? So there's a really interesting theory here, okay, on accelerating growth from stage 3 to stage 4. And it is that you want to create a balance in your life between practices of bliss and practice and future vision. Let me explain. The people who are accelerating between stage 3 and stage 4 have this interesting balance in their life. On one hand, they're happy in the now. On the other hand, they have a vision for the future. Now, based on this, you can see that you can exist in 4 different states of mind. For example, perhaps you are lacking a vision of the future and all you have is happiness in the now. Well, that is what we call the current reality trap. That is the lower right-hand side of this diagram that you're seeing. The current reality trap simply means that you may be happy, but there's nothing pulling you forward. There's no vision taking you forward. This is called a current reality trap, because while you may be happy, you may not actually be fulfilled. Tony Robbins said that what really brings us fulfillment, the 2 greatest soul needs are, am I growing and am I contributing? If you're in the current reality trap, think about it. You could pop a bottle of Prozac or smoke a joint and momentarily create chemical happiness, but it can be fleeting. You could be wasting your life. So you do not just want to have happiness in the moment. Now, the next level is where you have no happiness, but you also have no vision for the future. This is what is called a negative spiral. And if you're in that situation, you probably need to seek help, because the negative spiral means you are not happy right now, but there's also no vision pulling you forward. You go in a spiral and you continue going downwards unless you can pull yourself up. If you're there, it's so important that you have trusted friends, advisors, coaches, mentors, a therapist that can help you. You want to ask for help. Now, the next level is what is called stress and anxiety. And this is something that so many people, especially career people, entrepreneurs, fall into. This is where there is no happiness in the present, but you have a vision for the future. The problem is you are postponing your happiness. You are waiting for yourself to close that next sale. You're waiting for yourself to hit that next milestone so that you can be happy. This causes stress and anxiety. And this is something that plagues so many of us. I think I read somewhere that up to 70, 80% of entrepreneurs face stress and anxiety. But the funny thing is, if you can untangle your happiness from your vision for the future, you go into a different state, a state that we call bending reality. And bending reality is a mental state of mind in which you are pulled forward by big goals, yet happy where you are now. In short, your happiness is not tied to your goals. Bending reality creates a feeling of growth and a feeling of being lucky. Now, there's spiritual and actually psychological evidence for this. For example, there's a book called the Positivity Quotient. It's by Shazad Shamin. And he talks about how study after study after study shows that when people are happy, they perform better. Doctors who are primed to be happy, they actually are 19% better at diagnoses. Salespeople are 55% better at closing a sale. Students do better at exams. Entrepreneurs do better in their work. Teams, the number one thing that creates a high-performing team is actually the amount of positive emotions in that team versus negative emotions. Positivity quotient. And then there's also the spiritual study of this. If you've studied mystics like Esther Hicks, she talks about how positive emotions, bliss, joy, love, happiness, actually cause you to accelerate your manifesting. So why do we have such difficulty actually elevating levels of happiness when we know that happiness isn't a destination, but rather it's rocket fuel? Let's listen to Sri Kumar Rao, another great Mindvalley teacher. Rao is one of the most appreciated MBA lecturers out there right now. Let's hear him explain this idea.
Let me speak about happiness. It's probably fair to say that in some way, shape, fashion, or form, our entire life is a quest to be happy. The problem is we go about being happy the wrong way. We think that we will be happy when something happens or when we get something. When we get a better job, a higher pay, a bigger house, when we become married or have children or our children do well. Something happens outside and then we will be happy. This is what I call the if-then model. And the if-then model is fundamentally flawed. Look back on your own life. Can you imagine some time when you really wanted something? I mean, you really wanted it and you got it and you were thrilled for a few minutes, an hour, a day, a week, and then it simply became part of the background of your life and you moved on. It happens to us all the time. And that is because the if-then model itself is flawed, but we never recognize that the model is flawed. We simply think we put the wrong side on the if side of the equation, and if we put the right item, then life would be fine. So don't take my word for it. Think back on your own life. Can you remember some time when you were confronted with a scene of such spectacular beauty that it took you outside of yourself to a place of great calm and serenity? Perhaps the ocean, or a beautiful valley, or a mountaintop covered in ice, or a rainbow. Practically everyone can remember at least one such instance. Do you remember why that happened? That happened because somehow, inexplicably, at that instant, you accepted the world exactly as it was. You didn't say, that's a beautiful rainbow, but it's off to one side. And if I could move it 200 yards to the right, it would be ever so much better. And the valley, that's wonderful, exactly as it is. Your life right now, with all of the problems you have, your life right now, with all of the problems you think you have, is every bit as perfect, but you're resisting some aspect of it with might and main. Darn it, this is not the way it should be. This is the way it should be. And when you resist, you buy into the if-then model, and the if-then model is flawed. That's how we all learn to be unhappy. Now, here is an important point to remember. Accepting the world as it is does not mean that you don't do anything about it. It means that you acknowledge that things are in a particular way. You will try your level best to change the way it is if it is not in accordance with your vision. But you will do this because this is your path in life. You will not do it because if you succeed, then you will be happy. You do try, and you try your level best. As long as you have a vision, and in that vision, there's probably a starring role for you, it is incumbent upon you to do everything you can to accomplish the vision. If you succeed, wonderful. If you don't succeed, wonderful. You have severed the if-then link. And when you sever the if-then link and you recognize that you have no control over the universe, it goes its merry way, and it generally, in fact, it always gives you exactly what you need. What you need may be not what you wanted, but it is what you require for your growth. Think of the universe as a benevolent entity. It is not indifferent towards you. It knows you exist and is well disposed towards you and always arranges it so that you get exactly what you need at precisely the time that you need it. This is a model. Regardless of whether or not this model is true, if you believed the model is true, it will make your life infinitely superior. Now, imagine this. You're in the shower, the water is hot, you're feeling very relaxed and at ease with the world, and all of a sudden you burst out singing. You don't burst out singing because you want to be happy. You burst out singing because it is the spontaneous expression of your happiness. It is possible to live life in exactly the same way. You do what you're doing because this is your path in life. It is a spontaneous expression of your path. You don't do it because if you do it and something happens, you will be happy. You do it because it is an expression of your joy, your well being. It is indeed possible to live life like that when you recognize that there is nothing that you have to do or get or be to be happy. Happiness is your innate nature, and you live life as an expression of that nature. Just as a flower blooms, it blooms because it's in its nature to bloom. And when you start living life in that manner, when everything you do, including the occupation you're in and the efforts you make, is a spontaneous expression of your inner well being, then you find that you become not just productive, but incredibly productive. Your work blesses not only you, but everyone with whom it in somehow interacts and impacts. If you're in business, it impacts your customers, your employees, your vendors, the public at large. It's a different way of living, and this way of living is infinitely more satisfying to you personally and brings good to the world outside.
Wasn't that beautiful? Please share your thoughts if what Rao says resonated with you. For those of you who are Mindvalley members, Sri Kumar's Rao program, Quest for Personal Mastery, which was actually taught at Columbia Business School, London Business School, Kellogg, is available in your Mindvalley membership. So if you want to go deeper in Rao's work, please do. He is one of my greatest teachers. So, as I heard these ideas that we got to embrace happiness and vision for the future, I started to see, is this really true in real life? Is this really how some of the greatest minds in the world are operating? Now, this is what I found. I was reading the biography of one really, really, really amazing entrepreneur, and I noticed this line really came up, okay? I go into every situation expecting to win. Thinking like this often turns into a self-fulfilling prophecy. This guy wrote about how every venture he takes, everything he does, he just knows already that it's going to work. This man was Sam Walton. Like him or not, he built Walmart, which in the 80s was the biggest company in America. As I read more biographies, I came across this poem, something else that talks about this aspect of happiness. This poem was really interesting. It was written by this entrepreneur when he was in his 80s. I was early taught to work as well as play. My life has been one long happy holiday, full of work, full of play. I dropped the worry on the way, and God was good to me every day. Now observe what he's saying there. Work as well as play, future as well as present. My life has been one long happy holiday, right? He was a guy who really experienced bliss, full of work, full of play. I dropped the worry on the way, and God was good to me every day. There he's talking about synchronicity, coincidence. Now, the guy who wrote this was John D. Rockefeller. He is the richest man who ever lived. Yes, Elon Musk is rich, around 300 billion in net worth. John D. Rockefeller was the richest man who ever lived, approximately $400 billion in net worth, if you count the value of money at the time. And then there were other mystics. This is a beautiful quote on Steve Jobs, another man who built the most valuable company in history, the most valuable company of the modern era, Apple. Steve Jobs, big proponent of intuition, of trusting the universe. And then there was this dude that I got to meet. I think I've spent about maybe 3 hours in one-on-one conversations with Richard Branson, and I've asked him questions. Do you believe in the law of attraction? What are your principles of work? And Branson has a very interesting worldview. One of the things about him, as you will also notice in this photo, is that he's constantly happy. He's constantly singing in the shower, except his version of singing in the shower is having really interesting costume parties where he dresses up and everyone around him dresses up as well. But the other thing about Branson is, I remember when I was in the mastermind with him, somebody asked him, what, you're always happy. What do you do when you're sad? And he says, well, I can't remember the bad times. I only remember the good things that happen in my life. Really good evidence, right? Of someone who really embraces gratitude and happiness. But at the same time, Branson is very forward thinking. In our mastermind, we asked him, how do you stay productive? And he says, well, every morning when I wake up, I write down, I make my list of everything that I need to do. And this is actually one of Branson's list. It's not things such as I pick up milk on the way back home. It's basically launch Virgin Nigeria, finish a chapter of my book, Ring Steve Fossey. This is an actual list of Branson's goals. Again, a remarkable man who has one step in the idea of happiness and one step in terms of his future visions. And as I've observed him work, he is constantly playing that dance. He's super future oriented. He launched Virgin Galactic to take people on private space tours, but at the same time, constantly celebrating and experiencing life. All of these people who are doing at the peak of their field were operating at the fourth quadrant, bending reality, happiness in the now, and a vision for the future. Now, this is so important because for the first 3 days of this challenge, we're going to really focus on happiness in the now. This is compassion, gratitude, and then forgiveness. For the next 3 days of the challenge, we're really going to focus on vision and the future. But hopefully now you can see how all of this comes together. This is what it looks like: present, past, and then future. So today we are in day 2. Now, yesterday, let's do a quick recap before we go to day 2 and embracing your emotional state, mastering the act of happiness. Let's do a quick recap of day 1, mastering your heart. Day 1 was really about understanding how connected we are to everyone else, and to practice phase 1 of the 6-phase meditation, which is expanding your heart space to embrace compassion for everyone. And just to do a quick recap, I actually want to bring in Neil Donald Walsh. He's also one of our Mindvalley teachers. Have any of you read the book Conversations with God? Give a shout out if you've read Neil Donald Walsh's book. Those books sold 15 million copies and they changed so many lives. So this is Neil Donald Walsh on Mindvalley talking about why compassion, phase 1, is important.
There is a characteristic of life that is not only understood, but actually experienced by all advanced life forms, by all highly evolved beings. Entities in the universe that are not fully awakened have a difficult time often embracing the notion that I'm going to explain, much less experiencing it, although it's a very simple idea, a very simple truth. And the truth is expressed in one word: unity. That there is only one thing in the universe. All things are one thing. There is only one thing, and all things are part of the one thing there is. And that means there's no separation in any real sense. And there's a reason why I have observed human beings have a difficult time embracing the idea of unity, of there being only one thing. People are afraid of losing themselves. They're afraid that they would somehow be absorbed or thought of as being part of an amorphous, huge mass of energy that allows them no experience of their separate selves. So we have this idea that we need to be separate in order to experience ourselves. But what I was told in my conversations with God is that separation is not required for individuation to be experienced. And God gave me a very simple demonstration of this. She said, look at your hand. Your fingers are not separate from your hand in any way, but they are individuated. That is, each finger has different characteristics and different functions and can perform in different ways. So I said, wow, I got to hand it to you. That's a pretty good explanation. And so God has invited me to look at my own hand whenever I wanted to notice the difference between individuation and separation. Now, it's powerful. It's very powerful for us to embrace the notion of no separation, the notion of unity, because suddenly we begin to live and to experience life in a dramatically different way. We see everyone else as part of us, and everything else as part of us as well. And that includes that essence of life that some people call God. And so we begin to see things differently, to act differently, to react differently, and to experience ourselves in a brand new way, a way that can change your life forever. It would take me far too long to describe the benefits of that, but I'll give you an idea. Try it. Just try it for 24 hours. Imagine that everyone else who crosses your path is an extension of you, is one of the wonderful fingers on the hand that you are. And imagine that everything that you think and say and do with regard to that person, you're thinking and saying and doing with regard to yourself. And as you begin to change the way you interact with other people, you will discover the powerful, powerful benefits of the notion of unity. This is the single idea that could change the world virtually overnight and make everything better than we ever imagined it could possibly be. It could, in fact, produce heaven on earth. So if you'd like to have one single tool that could advance your spiritual evolution overnight, this is the tool. Unity, the oneness of all things. Thanks for listening, and enjoy your experience of oneness.
So now you see why we start with the compassion ritual.
And if there's somebody in bed beside you, you could really enjoy that experience of oneness in ways we can't even describe, because this is an outtake and you can't actually use it in the program.
I was supposed to cut out that final dirty joke that he made, but I forgot to do that. So guys, please forget that you heard that thing. So, so step one, compassion. Bianca, please remind me to edit the last part of that video. Neil has a hilarious sense of humor, but I forgot to edit that part out, okay?
I'm the community manager. I see people are so excited in the chat box, so I don't know if I'll do this.
So the first part is compassion. Okay, so we got that compassion, right? Unity, compassion. The practices, phase one of the 6 phase, but also the practice that you learned from Neil's program on Mindvalley. If anybody bugs you, upsets you, mentally tell yourself, there I go again, there I go again, being like this mean person, there I go again, being a drunk, etc., etc. Okay, now let's go on to mastering bliss. So the act of mastering bliss, I love to give it the word blisscipline. The most important discipline I believe in life is the discipline of being able to maintain your bliss. I love the word blisscipline. Both me and Michael Beckwith use that a lot in our teachings. So how do you master bliss? Super, super, super easy. It is a concept called gratitude. So there was a famous study on this. And what they found in this study is they divided people into 2 groups. I believe this was done in one of the universities of California. And one group expressed gratitude every day for about 2 to 3 minutes. The other group did nothing. That was the control group. What they found is that after 30 days, the group that practiced gratitude were automatically 25% happier. Now think about that. Remember that lifeline that you did yesterday? Imagine if that entire lifeline was 25% higher. And all of this took only 3 minutes a day. Now, this 25% bump happened after 30 days, which is really, really, really reasonable. That's 3 minutes a day for 30 days. But here's the crazy thing. Even after they stopped the study, 9 months later, they went back to both groups. And the group that practiced gratitude was still happier. In short, happiness influences your life over the long term. It creates waves that move way out into your future. This is why gratitude is so important. And now to explain the importance of gratitude further, I want to play this short video by yet another Mindvalley author. And you'll notice all of them, Sri Kumar Rao, Neil Donald Walsh, and Lisa Nichols in this case, are all sitting in the same chair. That's because all of them had come together for a big conference, a big annual conference in LA. This is before the pandemic. And they all shot the different portions of content that we're going to go in this training. So here's Lisa Nichols. Her program on Mindvalley is called Speak and Inspire. She's one of the people who taught me how to speak and present. And if you want to learn how to speak and present like I do it, you learn from her. And her program, Speak and Inspire, is also available to you guys as members. Okay, now there are about 4,000 or 5,000 members watching this. If you're not a member, it's okay. But if you're a member, the reason I mentioned the programs is just so you know where to find these if you decide to go further with any of these amazing teachers, because something they say captivates you. Let's hear Lisa.
Gratitude. Think of it like this. If your dream is the seed and action is the water to grow the seed, sunlight is the consistency to grow that same seed called your dream, gratitude is the fertilizer that makes it grow sooner, quicker, faster. See, energy grows where energy goes. And when you have an energy of gratitude, it rises all the things that you love. When you're grateful, and when I say grateful, grateful for the relationships in your life, grateful for the opportunity to serve, not just grateful for material things or grateful for bank accounts. That's easy. It goes up and down. But grateful for relationships, grateful for oxygen, grateful for the opportunity to serve, grateful that people want to be in your space, grateful for the gifts you have. When you have gratitude like that, you literally rise the tide of all things wonderful in your life. See, gratitude is also the most healing agent possible. You can go through the darkest times, and in those dark hours, when you can find things to be grateful for, you can feel the healing salve. So in the same experience, the same emotion of gratitude, you not only can heal something that hurts, help yourself get through a dark hour, but gratitude also grows what you want to create. Gratitude is the fertilizer. It's the fertilizer to all things good. You want anything that you love, anything that you like, anything that you love, anything that you desire to grow, stay rooted in authentic gratitude, and it's gonna rise like the tide. Think of it like the Chinese bamboo tree. In year 1, that seed doesn't do anything. In year 2, that seed still doesn't do anything. That seed is underground. In year 3 and 4, the seed still doesn't do anything. But when you put gratitude on something, in year 5, the Chinese bamboo tree actually not only sprouts through the ground, it grows as big as 80 feet in just 6 weeks. Gratitude is just like that. You might not see it today. You might not see it tomorrow, but you can stay consistent in action and in gratitude, and it will sprout up and spring 80 feet tall in front of your eyes, whatever that thing is that you want. Just give it gratitude.
How beautiful is that, right? Now here's the crazy thing, guys. I'm going to show you something which is fascinating. So in our office in Mindvalley, Lisa Nichols was talking a lot about seeds, plants, the bamboo sprouts. So we did this experiment, and you can try this experiment as well. You can literally try this experiment to see the power of gratitude in influencing reality. So these are 3 seeds marked X, Y, and Z. And what my team did in the office, so this was shared in a TEDx talk by Luke San, who was one of the people who work at Mindvalley, one of our coaches. So you can see that each of these seeds grew in a different way. Now, here's the funny thing. Seed X every morning, so this is just 10 days. Every morning, Luxan would tell this seed how much she loved it, how grateful she was for the seed. She would say, "You are such a beautiful seed. You're going to grow up and be so strong. You're going to be so amazing. You're going to be so green and powerful and tall. And you're going to be so beautiful to look at." And then seed Y, she just wouldn't talk to. Seed Y, she would ignore. Seed Z, she would say the opposite. "You stupid seed. When you grow up, I'm going to chop you up and turn you into a salad. I bet you're going to wilt. I bet your leaves will be upside down." And look at Z. The leaves are literally upside down. It shows you how your self-talk matters. Now, the funny thing, right? Look at the impact of words and emotions on biology. This is real. Seed Y is an average plant. No, it's the control. Look at X, the one where she expressed gratitude and appreciation. And look at Z, the one where she did the opposite. Now imagine what you are doing to your own mind every morning when you blame yourself for a failure, when you regret something. And imagine what you're doing when you, as Lisa Nichols said, celebrate gratitude. Now, this is just one study, and I share that study because you can do it. Guys, if you're using negative words on yourself, I want you to try that seed experiment. 10 days is all it will take. Schools, by the way, in the US are now using this to educate kids on the power of their words because it's real. But other scientific studies have shown that gratitude, if you express it daily, will increase your levels of energy, improve your emotional intelligence, make you more forgiving, reduce odds of depression or anxiousness, make you feel more connected to other human beings. You will sleep better and you have less headaches. And this is how you practice gratitude. It's called the 3 levels of gratitude. And this is what you do in phase 2 of the 6 phase. You think about 3 things in your personal life in the last day or 48 hours or week, whatever, that you can express gratitude for. Then you think about 3 things in your work life. Then you think about 3 things about yourself. You talk to yourself the way you talk to the seed. So what do we mean by personal life, right? Personal life would be your home. You might express gratitude that you live in a beautiful house. I express gratitude that I have so many freaking candles. You might express gratitude for your daily rituals, the fact that you're so disciplined about your gym, about your family, your friends. I always express gratitude for my kids, for close friends I have in the world, for amazing people I work with like Bianca. And then there's the work life. Work life is where you focus, you express gratitude for what you love about work. Don't fake it. Don't focus on what you don't like. Express gratitude. Maybe you have a coworker who sometimes drives you up the wall, right? But surely in that coworker, there's something that you can express gratitude for. Maybe you don't like your commute, but you can express gratitude that at least you have a Spotify subscription and you can listen to amazing music on your commute. Find the things you love. And Lisa says, when you express gratitude for that, you magnify those. But not only that, you elevate your levels of happiness, which create a ripple effect. You start seeing your life bloom like that seed, and the happiness itself becomes fuel for everything else you're doing in work. Now we come to the third part. You express gratitude for yourself and who you are. Now, this is the part that trips people up. Because when we were growing up, our parents always told us, oh, don't think too highly of yourself. Don't be a narcissist and all of this other stuff, right? Well, most people are not all about themselves. In fact, the vast majority of us, I'd say 99% of us, it's the opposite. We doubt ourselves. We have holes. We have insecurities. We have things that we don't like about ourselves. And this is why gratitude for yourself is so important. So what you want to do, there's a word missing there. What do we truly love about ourselves? That's what you're going to ask. Self-love is not selfish. You're going to express gratitude for, well, maybe you might say, well, I express gratitude because I love my body because I only crave healthy food. I'm expressing gratitude for myself because I have beautiful eyes, because I'm such a big tipper, because I show up at Vision's classes and blow up the chat board. I express gratitude because I have such a cute butt. Whatever it is for you, you express that on a daily basis. So again, 3 things about your personal life, 3 things about work, 3 things about yourself. And I want you guys to do this right now. I want you guys to write down in the chat 1 thing in any of these areas that you're really grateful for. And let's see the chat blow up. So, okay, let's see. So Avniel says, I have a cute butt. Kate, cute butt. Wow, you guys are really proud of your asses. Miguel, again, I have a cute butt. Bianca, is this because so many Mindvalley members do 10X? Okay, Lindsay, I have endless compassion.
But
Katie, I love that I'm a great writer. Bonnie, Stacy has beautiful hair. Viv has a healthy body. I love this. This is so beautiful, guys. And the chat is blowing up. Now, you want to do this, not just on the chat every single day, although there's nothing wrong with getting on the Mindvalley private social network and talking about how cute your butt is. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you do it once, if not, it becomes a bit of a weird fetish or obsession, right? But what you want to do is you want to embrace that. You want to embrace that attitude every time when you meditate. Okay, now, here are a couple of tips, okay, as you express the gratitude protocol. Studies found that whether you think about something simple or big, your level of happiness is the same. Our brain doesn't really differentiate it. So it's about the feeling that you want to capture. Now, this means that you don't have to be rich. You don't have to express gratitude because you own a car. You could express gratitude because a loved one bought you a cup of coffee. You can express gratitude because you had warmth warm, you're at heating on a cold day. It doesn't matter. It's your brain doesn't differentiate. And so this is something that's open and possible for everyone. Now, the most important tip, feel the emotions. Don't make it just about a list. Don't just go, I have nice hair, my eyes are blue and kind of beautiful, my butt's nice. No, you want to feel that emotion. I fucking love my hair. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse. I was just really into it. I love my eyes, my butt. I wish I could legally squeeze my own butt as I cross the street every day. So you want to really, really, really feel the emotion, okay? As you do this, feel the emotion, because that emotion is rocket fuel. You see, guys, there's a pattern and there's a reason why we do the 6 phase and the sequence that we do. And you're going to understand it as you go further in. The gratitude phase, when you bring up that emotion, that's going to give you core strength to when you go to the forgiveness stage, which is a little bit more challenging. And both of those are going to put you in the right brainwave states for the future vision stage when you're manifesting your future reality. Okay, so this is what you want to do. Remember, it's not about the size, it's about the emotion. Now, let's begin. So we're going to do a 3-minute gratitude exercise. I'm going to assign some homework. Will be maybe 2 minutes over time, but we should be good to go. All right. So this is what we are going to do next. I'm going to set the timer to 3 minutes. We're going to start with your personal life. I want you to close your eyes and think about 3 things about your personal life: your home, your family, your friends that you're truly appreciative for. Feel the emotions. Just mentally celebrate this aspect of your life. Now, the second thing, let's think about your work, your career. Now, guys, even if you're unemployed, your work could be your diligence in job hunting or your diligence in going on your entrepreneurial journey. Think about your coworkers. Think about the skills that you're gaining, the income you might be earning. Now move on to yourself. Celebrate yourself. I'm seeing so many funny comments. This is a really sexual audience. I'm seeing comments like, I like big butts and I cannot lie. It's about the size, not the emotion. Giggle, giggle. But you see, guys, we're happy. We're celebrating each other and our weirdness. So, guys, you just did.
To cut that video.
Bianca, could you turn on the camera, Bianca? Come back live. So guys, you just finished the training for today. We're done with today's training. Now remember your homework. Open up the Mindvalley app, go to the meditation tab, scroll down and you'll see 6 phase meditation and play phase 2. You're going to go through compassion, then gratitude. You don't have to do it now. You can do it either tonight before you go to bed, or you can do it tomorrow. You can do it tomorrow in the morning. Now your homework, remember, go back to your Lifeline shop and look at the valleys and look at the peaks and ask yourself, what did I learn? What is it about the peak that reminds me, wow, I want to do more of this? So one of my peaks, guys, was seeing my father. I hadn't seen him in 10 months because we were in separate countries during the pandemic. And one of my most beautiful peaks was sitting down with my father and having him show me old movies that he loved. Like he introduced me to Sidney Poitier's film, Look Who's Coming to Dinner from 1967. And I cherish that memory. And I want to do more of that so we can learn from our peaks. What do we do more of? And then there is the valleys. The valleys would be business failure. So I made a really dumb business mistake and it cost me $6 million in losses last year. But I learned from that. And I'm going to turn that into a massive profit this year. What do you learn from the valleys? Okay, so that's homework 1. Homework 2, really, really, really simple. do the gratitude exercise tonight or tomorrow morning. And if you want to go further, if you want to be a really good student, because Bianca is watching and one of you might win the new Apple devices, I want you to write down or draw an image of what you're grateful for. Personal life, work, and yourself. You can draw a little image, you can put together a little collage, you can write it down on a list and share that picture in the Facebook group. No images of your butt, please keep that out. Keep it PG-13, okay? But we will be looking forward to seeing your images. Thank you, everyone. Bianca, on to you.
Thank you, Vishen. I will also need the powers back as a co-host,
Okay.
because I will be bringing up some very beautiful members that want to share their experience with the Mindvalley membership. And guys, thank you so much for the beautiful messages in the chat box. Okay, let's see. Vishen, my powers, if it's possible to have them back. It looks like I don't have them yet.
Okay, let me try to make you, let me see how I can make you.
Guys, this session was crazy. I've been laughing a lot with you over here. So you're the best audience ever. All right, so now it should
Okay, yeah. Okay, Bianca, you are now the host. I'm turning off the camera, guys. I will see you tomorrow at the same time.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, guys.